Well, Mike, you observe that Hong Kong Monetary Authority has released its supervisory incubator for dispersed ledger technology initiative to assist banks in adopting dispersed ledger generation. This is certainly insane. This is one of the craziest headlines that I actually have examined within the final kind of, you understand, 1 year. I'm just going to mention. And it is not approximately the actual headline. It's approximately in which we're currently in terms of this cycle. This entire marketplace, if you may, we're going to speak approximately it. We have to cope with it because it is very essential. So with that being stated, welcome to the channel, absolutely everyone. My call is Nick. For those which might be new to the channel, hopefully through the end of this video, you do emerge as a subscriber. So what's so loopy about this submit right here? What's loopy is the truth that we now have banks geared up to adopt DLT. And we now have legitimate government authorities in this situation, right? The Hong Kong Monetary Authority, they're supporting the banks in adopting DLT. They're doing this due to how efficient and how large of a recreation changer the era absolutely is. I have stated it time and time once more. The banks aren't going to take a seat around and do not anything, even as DLT grows and grows and grows. They are going to be pressured to both undertake or die. That's it. Now, why do I find this particular announcement, even though very sizable, well out of doors of the reality that banks are now prepared to adopt DLT? It's Hong Kong Monetary Authority. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority isn't some new name around crypto. If we move back right here to May of 2023, Ripple, to demonstrate tokenization in HKMA pilot software, the use of new CBDC platform. This is centered on retail CBDC use cases, together with the equity release of tokenized real property belongings with Ripple's new CBDC product. So why is that this very vital? What permits reflect on consideration on this? Okay, so if the Hong Kong Monetary Authority is now looking into assisting banks and adopting DLT, and this is focusing on a CBDC, or imperative financial institution, digital forex, if you did not recognize that all of the banks in the Hong Kong vicinity might be utilizing this CBDC, which manner that, since the Hong Kong Monetary Authority is calling at Ripple for this, you already know. Hypothetical EHKD pilot application, which means that every one of these banks might have to utilize Ripple in terms of either their CBDC product itself, their Ripple custody platform, or their Ripple payments platform, which does leverage DOT, the XRP ledger. This is why I locate this very thrilling. And if we peer-integrated into this, okay, there was a video also from May of 2023 wherein it said, our regulation may be tight, which manner they had been searching at all of the gamers from the space, and they had their attractions set on Ripple because Ripple has been extremely compliant. Despite the fact that there's been an SEC lawsuit circulating around Ripple, these areas around the world they're privy to how huge of a comic story the SEC is and has been. But again, we were awareness on those connections, attention on those bulletins, because they're very vital to some of the newer ones like this one. Now, additionally, we have over here from August 2nd of 2023, Fubon Bank Ripple to apply HKCBDC in actual estate tokenization pilot. Now, you is probably saying, well, Nick, isn't this the equal exact thing from over here? It's technically not, because if we clearly inspect this, we should see some greater records around this. This is a financial institution. This is not just the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. This is a bank, aka Fubon Bank. In this case, this is unveiling plans to make use of the XRP ledger around this tokenization pilot for actual estate tokenization. Now, on top of this, we additionally have why a CBDC helps for high-cost belongings transactions, And that is wherein we were given an entire breakdown of this, particularly with, just like the Bank of England, as an example, with outcomes from Project Meridian. This is round-like delivery as opposed to payment agreement. It seems to me, but out of doors of that, we also have the total on test being pointed out concerning this rapid charge machine that Hong Kong has, and how this will appeal to customers and persuade them of the blessings of a CBDC. And the HKMA needs to introduce price use instances, and Ripple became a strong desire for this. But also, on pinnacle of this, we have over here that HexTrust supports Ripple and Fubon Bank inside the HKMA EHKD pilot software. And now that is from November 2nd. However, that is with HexTrust. And in case you guys do not know about HexTrust, you must, because that is a completely large player in Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, Italy, or even Vietnam. And additionally, they have a ton of traders behind them, some of the biggest names which you men probably already are privy to. For an instance, you may study them right here. The BCW, for an example, is a massive one. We additionally have Hashkey on right here from Bushi Capital. There's a few quite large names tied back to HexTrust. This is also any other employer that turned into exploring supply chain use cases with Ripple using the XRP ledger as properly. So I have to certainly focus on them. But then we also think about some other extra connections that Ripple does should some very massive banks, which can be already making use of DLT, DZ Bank, for an example. This is published from January 8th, meaning that XRP can settle any two assets. It's the exceptional bridge currency. David Schwartz stated that with tokenization, you are not simply going to want the one's belongings to take a seat on chain. You're going to need to buy, sell, alternate, switch, whatever the case may be. And XRP is an ideal asset to be that underlying settlement asset. Even with the stablecoin, over here we have DZ Bank alongside HSBC's harmonized platform allows ROUSD and stablecoins for speedy bills via bridging blockchains. With conventional finance, Medico secures custody and compliance with Chainlink, ensures fax accuracy with both structures, rolling out a streamlined move border bills, and make tokenized assets without problems accessible and secure for institutional economic systems. Big shout out to Mr. Man XRP for this. He's surely quoting the DZ Bank declaration in phrases of the purchaser highlight. But test this out, essentially have a look at, you realize, the way you have to have, I consider that paradigm shifts take place in kind of three phases. Proper, so those you obtain to have infrastructure to transition within the vintage, or proper. So